Wow. Hey everyone, it's Multimedia 7 here to do an SNR message. You guys can come in. I'm going to talk regardless about whatever I'm supposed to talk about today. Honestly, I'm not even going to hold y'all. I like to be on here, do these long messages. Like the previous message I was like more than an hour. And I mean, that's good for, that's good. I like being on here talking to y'all, giving y'all the information and knowledge, because I be learning myself. Blessings, everyone. Blessings. Thank you for that. Thank you for that beautiful message. Mr. Fitzroy Phillip in the comment section. You know what? That makes me happy because honestly, I don't want to do a long message today, but we're gonna see how the message, does its thing. But that was very encouraging. Sometimes, we just need encouragement. Hey, shout out to Grenadier in the comment section. Fitzroy Phillip representing for Grenadier. Interesting. Now, all right. So let me just start the message. I'm gonna go through this. Maybe is a reason why the energy is like this. It's like, all right. So the energy right now, I'm not gonna hold you. I had to do a lot of stuff today. Oh, well, it's not perceived as a lot of stuff, but I had to do a lot of things today. I don't like to usually put all my eggs in one basket, kind of, So I didn't overdo, but I just kind of, you know, I don't know. So all right, I don't know. Something about the NG is probably significant to this message. So this message was first made on Sunday, May 25th, 2025, at 1 a.m. at 79%. Then I came back to revisit and channel some more on the particular topic, and that was on Monday, June 2nd, 2025, at 2 a.m. at 30%. So something about the zodiac sign and embodiment of Leo, very significant. Not ironic, this is a SNR message. Singers, actors, actresses, actors, any type of celebrity, to be honest. So that has to do with Leo, the entertainment industry, entertainers. So something about introspection, self-reflecting, you know, analyzing certain situations or characteristics about yourself, and before moving forward, how to, I don't know, do something. The channeled phrase, message, hint, tip in regards to this message is the phrase previously and to be continued. Now, you only usually hear that in like TV series. I can't. Yeah, I'm pretty sure only in TV series you hear previously and to be continued because, even although movies have like sequels and prequels, and TV series, let's say live broadcast, like a live broadcast channel, you know, it'll be like previously in the previous episode, or like when the TV show was getting good, they'd be like to be continued, and either you gotta wait for a new season or for the next episode, right? So maybe this has something to do with some actors. I hear a specific not TV show, but executive producer. I don't know if all right, I'm gonna just say 50 Cent. Something significant about him. So something about the zodiac sign placement of Cancer, or the embodiment of something about the emotions of a. So this can be something about entertainer in the industry who is also a mother or some sort of mother figure, has something to do with this message. Significant changes from the spiritual manifest into the physical. So you may be receiving you might be receiving downloads, synchronicities, dreams at this time. There's something very significant about this year in particular and the month of January. Something could have happened then, is now, you know, playing a major role into right now in the present. Something about the zodiac sign and embodiment of Scorpio. So this could be in regards to the occult, a group, some sort of possible secret. Value in regards to some sort of worth. This could be like self worth, like self valuing, or just actual of some sort. Now, something about trusting you to wish it. This could have something to do about the month of January in specific. It could have been, you could have did something in January with a group of people, seen something about a group of people. It could be something about a particular secret, so on and so forth. Something about two events, two situations, very significant, and it can be in regards to the zodiacs and embodiments that I've mentioned already, and also the month of January, like I've said already. There's a channel message that God wants to make a parent in regards to the SNR. If you would like to, there's a message on the platform. I believe it's God shows you. I think the message. I want to paraphrase. 'Cause I don't know the name word for word, but something like you ask God who your enemies were, and not showing you their demise. If you're interested, it has something to do with this message, so you can go look at that if you like to. Right now after the message. Oh, Aurora's in the chat. Did you watch the message, Aurora, when I looked up the definition of your name? But all right. So something about influence, and welcome back, Aurora. So something about your social influence, like socializing, the influence you have on others, the influence that others have on you. Something very about your career at this time. Luck and fortune, looking to seventh house placements in your birth chart. It's something about in regards to partnerships and gifts. This could be in regards to some sort of communication. Zodiac sign and embodiment of Gemini, very significant. Something you might have seen online. Now, let me talk. Oh, you heard it? I'm glad. What did you think about what I said? Have you ever looked up your name? Nice. I wondered, have you ever looked up what the definition of your name? Did you know what it meant before I looked it up? I didn't know what your name means. So, it's nice to see you in the chat. So, I had a dream the other day. Yeah, I had a dream the other day. Basically, I spoke about his message. To paraphrase, really wasn't a long dream. Basically, I was in some sort of corporate building, and it was like on the second floor, like it was a second floor, but I could see, like, I was saying, explaining it, I don't know why it's significant because I didn't know what to call it. You know how you go to a shopping mall, right? And they have like different levels. They up and down the escalators and stuff like that. And when you're on certain levels, when you're looking down at the lower level, they usually have like that transparent glass railing, whatever. So I'm looking down and I see the entrance and the exit way, but there was no people in the corporate building or whatever. But on the second level where I was, there was an elevator. The elevator door wasn't open; it was closed. But what was significant is that there was a Black Panther walking of the elevator passing me by. So I was just like, oh wow. And then, with research I learned that like the Black Panther, I didn't know Black Panther, a leopard. All right, no problem, Rory. You have to go. That's fine. I appreciate you for tuning in. So yeah, so I didn't know a jaguar, a leopard, and a Black Panther were all the same thing. I found that quite interesting. Um, Anywho's, but like in the after seeing the jaguar passing by, and I saw another variation. Like it was the dream switched to another place, and it was saying like it was like these parental like that. They were saying something in regards to, they want a person new home, Something about the reference of Grove Street, and also, accommodations for Aquarius Sagittarius. Now, Aquarius, in regards to this message, would be, celebrities of some sort. I said the only Grove Street reference, actually, now I think about it, there's two Grove Street references I can think about. I don't know if it's like related, but like the only two people I've heard in regards to like musicians mention Grove Street, like, or I've heard Holly Grove, is Lil Wayne and Waka Flocka Flame, if I'm not mistaken. The Waka Flocka Flame just came to mind just now. All right, so I want a message, right? Bye, Aurora, in the comment section. Trying to wake me up. Because like I seen that you said you had to go already said. She is funny. Now, she obviously she had a lot of personality in real life. So, all right, not that. All right, I'm not saying it's ironic because of Lil Wayne. What the Waka Flocka just came to mind. If you know what Flocka is, yeah, she's on. So I have to do my nails, right? So I have nails yet because I had to do my hair first. But like God told me like to leave this one nail on, and I'm just like what, like whatever, like. So I have this one nail on the pinky finger. First of all, this pinky finger is real fancy, huh? So this is something like upper class. I don't want to say 1%, but like upper class or whatever like that. But a lot of people. I'm not trying to be rude or anything like that. I don't know from personal experience, but I guess what I've seen on television and movies. So it's something about possible cocaine usage or something like that. Because I'm just seeing like somebody using their pinky finger to like, oh my gosh, some coke, pot allegedly. I mean, I don't think they too embarrassed because I'm not gonna start that because that woman seems to be happy right now. I don't want to seem like a Debbie Downer, like a fangirl or whatever. But I would say it's fine because I ain't no punk neither. So, do y'all remember that video? I think it was in New York, but I could be mistaken. Um, there was a video online. I don't know. It was a while ago. I can't even tell you when it was, but I remember it was like an after party, or it was an intimate celebrity party or something like that, and I don't remember what the event was for. But Cardi B was there, and then like somebody had recorded a video of her. It was one of those kind of like NDA parties where like you're not supposed to have your phone on. You're not supposed to have no phone to even record. Somebody took a video, and Cardi was going off talking about like she was giving like some sort of toast, or she was like giving a speech or something like that at some club or venue of some sort, and and there was Caucasian people there amongst the celebrities, and she was just like, yeah, grab your drinks, grab your coke. I know, hey, don't be ashamed. We know your coke and stuff like that. I was just like, yeah, yo. I don't know. Maybe there was an event, something like that, whatever like that. It's so interesting because I went to an event not too long ago, and there was a particular pair. Not to bring this person up because I really don't care. It was a DJ or producer of some sort, and I'm not on the. I don't talk to that person anymore. Don't. But the person was like doing any and everything to kind of get my attention and kind of I don't know how to explain it. It was so childish. Speaking of Aquarius, right? But it's so childish because like some like that man did something to me that was unwarranted. So I actually feel like I don't want to talk to him, be around him. I don't care for that person's existence. But he would do stuff to like kind of get my attention, like start talking loud and saying indirect things to other people, but was really trying to get my attention. And it's just like whatever. But I'm not saying all this to say like the event, I'm not paying this person no mind. This person talking to people who like kind of next to me and stuff like that, like trying to get my attention, talking about who got some coke, and like the whole it's so interesting. I was ignoring this person like the whole event, even when he was talking next to me, I was minding my business. I wasn't saying nothing to this person because like once I cut ties, once I don't fuck with you, I don't fuck with you. So like I was like I was standing on that until I heard him like I heard him say like yo what's going because I had said something. This is I had said something. I had said I was having a conversation with somebody in particular, and it's funny because me, the person I was talking to, and the person I'm not talking to, all zodiac sign, all completely different though. So ironic. So I'm talking to somebody of the same sex. I'm just like having a conversation, general conversation. I'm just like, man, the venue hadn't got lit, hadn't got turned up at that time. We had came, punctual. So like we waiting for people to come in for it to start again. Like it's we waiting for the party to get started basically. So I was talking about the person, and I was just like, I'm just ready to get lit, shake some hands, like have a good time. And the person was like, I thought I was the only one that was thinking that. Then there was some people next to us that overheard the conversation. Was like, yeah, I was just thinking the same thing. So like, I don't know, it might be something like, everybody's waiting for somebody to say something that's all on their mind. Like everybody's thinking the same thing, but who's gonna like initiate a conversation so that start getting things going. As soon as I said something, the other person agreed with me. We having a conversation, and more people agree with us. They wasn't in the they jumped into the conversation, but then the person I don't talk to, the person I don't fuck with, came towards the other group of people that was agreeing with what I said. So I guess that person felt like, all right, this that was their chance to get into the conversation. If I was going to talk to them or something like that, I don't know. I don't know what their intention was. I'm not going to assume. All I know is the person overheard the conversation came was like, word, like this party is not turned up, it's not lit. Like who got the coke? So I was being sarcastic because like me hearing something like that, me knowing the type of person that person is. Like when alright, like alright, like I don't care about talking about this person, but like yo, for a whole year, like alright, for a whole year, a year, yo, a year. The reason why I'm saying this because this is wild. So, a business associate, when I used to do business with this particular person, I don't fuck with no more, right? Hold on. One moment. When I used to do business with this particular business associate, he would always have a box, a carton of cigarettes in his room. But the where we have these business meetings at and stuff like that, right? But the thing is, I know it was a rental space, so like me just seeing a box of carton of in that vicinity, I never wanted to assume that man smoked cigarettes. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to just be judging somebody or just be like, oh yeah, it's in here, you doing it. So I don't know. I was, you know what? I'm gonna figure it out one day. I don't know why it was so interesting to me. I'm just like, I'm gonna figure it out one day, whatever. So I have did another business meeting with a different colleague in rental space, and I seen the box of carton of cigarettes there again. Now I'm like, wait, is they both smoking cigarettes? Because like these is like this one is like a like they both like I'm not gonna tell anything, but like it was intriguing to me. Like yo, for like because they're like entrepreneurs, you know what I'm saying? They work for self, and I'm an entrepreneur. So, but I don't. To each his own. Everybody's kind luxurious or leisure, whatever like that, is always going to not be the same, different, similar. I don't smoke cigarettes, so in my mind, my own personal bias is like I'm like, ain't no way you need cigarettes. Because like usually when I do the business meeting, it'd be hookah there ready and available. So I was trying to figure out why it was about to carton of cigarettes because I'm like somebody's stressing. So interesting. The reason why I don't fuck with that particular person is because that individual will go out their way to try to stress everybody out for no reason. Try to be malicious and mean to people for no reason. So I didn't want to assume, but my first assumption is like you over here trying to stress all these people out for no reason. I'm pretty sure in my mind, in my heart, I was like, I know that is that person's carton of cigarettes, but I did not want to jump to conclusions. I said, you know how I found out it was that person's carton of cigarettes? Very weird encounter. The last business account I ever had with that person, like personal business. That yeah, last encounter. Basically, somebody is nervous. Basically, I had a business venture going on, business as usual, but then that person had like either romantic or feelings for me or like was attracted to me. So I politely declined. Then the person wanted to start, messing up the business all because of sexual attraction or something like that. And I had this interesting encounter with that person where, you know, he tried to make an advance at me at the time previously, and I saw him lock the door, and then he's tried to get into my close plea. And while I was, denying his advances, keeping my eye on the door that he had just locked, and I felt like either he was going to do something he wasn't supposed to do, or he was trying to use some form of intimidation. I'm promising you this. Whatever I'm talking about when I do these like little story rants and stuff like that, there's a moral to it and it correlates in the message. He tried to do some sort of intimidation, I'm assuming, and that is where I found out he smokes the cigarettes because I was denying the advances. He started getting my personal space. He gave me like this like kind of look that I was like, oh nah, I'm not right with this person. And then he picked up the carton of cigarettes and he started like shaking them like and trying to get near into my proximity. I ain't got up and left. I was like, I'm not, because like it's hard for me to be intimidated when for a whole year it's like I didn't mean to be like investigative whose pack of cigarettes that was, but like the fact that not only did I find out that that man smoked cigarettes and was stressing, then he tried to sexually coerce me and then be intimidated at the same time with the same pack of cigarettes that I was joking about to begin with. So to me it was funny. To me it was funny because I was just like I was trying to figure out who was smoking them. It's no, and then I'm just like, ain't no way you stressing like this. I'm like all over some sex. You smoking cigarettes because you're not getting sex from a particular person, or is it something else, or is life hard for you? I'm just like, oh my goodness. It was that joke was so funny. But yeah, so back to what I was saying. So at the venue, at this time, I'm not talking to him and stuff like that, right? So he tried joining the conversation. He's like, "It's not a party. We got some coke. Who got some coke? We can go get some coke." And it was like I wasn't even thinking. I just immediately answered, back, responded or whatever like that. But I wasn't really talking to him directly. But I'm like, "Oh, now it's a party." And then I went about my business, like or whatever like that. And he just got hit. And in my mind, I was laughing on the inside because I'm just like, yo, I was like low key investigating whether or not this man was smoking cigarettes for a long time. They was trying. I was asked them. I asked whose carton of cigarettes that is. They was trying to deny. And then when I found out who actually had the cigarettes and it was that particular person, I'm like, yo, what else could you lie about? And then now that Coke statement, and I'm like, no, part that he got real quiet in my mind. In my heart, I was laughing. I was laughing because I'm just like, yo, there's a good chance he do Coke, and it's you might find out somebody, and you just like, you know what? I believe it. Oh my gosh, what kind of response is that? Like, oh my god, did you hear such a do Coke? You know what? I believe it. Just calm, just real calm. Like, I believe it. Like, oh my gosh, bet me that safe crack. Oh my gosh, anything. There's something about because like in the dream, either way. So let me get back on topic. Dream I was talking about like there was these parent figures. So far you said something about the Black Panther, which is also the Jaguar, which is also the leopard. So maybe about three different archetypes of entertainer or either a mother figure or something like that. Then there was a Gemini Aries that decided they wanted to move somewhere. So that's like excuse me, back to Sunday. Somebody don't want me to say something. So moving would be in regards to Sagittarius. And the dream depicted, it was saying that Aquarius and the Sagittarius was moving this grove, housing, living arrangement, whatever like that, right? So if I know Aquarius means celebrity, Sagittarius is was a guy, but I didn't see the guy there. So something about a woman moving in with a Sagittarius entertainer. And now that I think about it, even though it's not the same, I don't know why. Because I keep seeing stuff about Lil Baby. Oh yeah, because what's trending right now is that fan that passed out at Lil some type, I don't know if he had a concert or something. She went and passed out at a walkthrough or something like that, and he like damn near almost pushed her, trying to get away from her, stuff like that. Kind of scared him. I don't know what's going on with that. I'm not on that situation. I don't, because people, you never know. Well, I don't know. I'm not on it, but what I do remember is, do you remember a few years ago when I don't know if I believe Jada Wade and Lil Baby still date. I don't, but he already made it clear that he don't want to be married. He said that he'd rather love somebody with his money, but he don't want to get married. He don't want to tie into finances. He probably think I'm gonna be quite honest with you. You probably know already, like type of woman that he deal with. No shade to Jada Waiter, but like he probably just know y'all gold diggers. No shade. I gotta say it like that. Y'all really just want him for his money. Like I don't think if Jada Waiter was whoever she is today, and Lil Baby never made a amount of money or recognition he made in the music career, or even had the talent, they'd still talk to him. Real shit. I'm just saying. But do y'all remember when Jada Waiter was on she was outside of Lil Baby's home while he was on the balcony, because I think he had a lady or something like that in there, and it was a whole thing. I think he had moved, like they had lived parallel to each other in a complex or something like that, or they had two different condos, and there was a picture. I don't know if he took it or somebody else took the picture, and they was like talking from the balcony and stuff like that, but they wasn't together at the time. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? I really didn't pay too much attention about that, so maybe it's something significant about that, or so. And Aquarius also is something about prediction, so maybe I don't know what's going on with that. So it could be something about one of Lil Baby's friends, or Baby Mama, or Jada Waiter, but either. Anyways, there's something also about New Edition. Do y'all remember that group? Something was made apparent in that message. I don't know why. So, all right now. So maybe here's where we're going, because Jada Waiter and Lil Baby relationship is like it's kind of, it's not the same, but it kind of reminds me of Lil Durk and I'm hearing three different couples. All right, Jada Waiter, Lil Baby, Lil Durk, India, and Moneybagg Yo and Ari. All right, so something about a lie or a spell or some voodoo, and how to break this possible lie, spell, of voodoo. Now, why is lie and spell necessarily kind of the same thing? Because if you lie, that means you're manipulating the truth, and then to manipulate a different occurrence or circumstance, right? What spell work is supposed to do. Yeah, Wednesday. You remember me from yesterday? I'm still going. I was, yeah. Yesterday didn't interrupt the live. Then I was talking a lot yesterday. I was talking a lot. It was getting good. Things was getting revealed. But this is an SNR message now. So thanks for tuning in. So, like I said, how to break this lie, this spell, this voodoo in regards to, first and foremost, you need to, before you before you like want to do any of that, you want to know how to break a lie or spell some voodoo. You gotta first and foremost find the reason as to like what's going on. You know, a lot of people when they pray, they don't know what to pray about, and that's understandable. You know, this is the platform where I can teach y'all some of that stuff. But like, first and foremost, you have to have a reason as to why you're doing whatever you're doing, right? The law, attraction, cause and effect, all that. So, in regards to this message, in regards to whether the lie, the spell, the voodoo is, in regards to, I guess, relationships, I previously spoke about the Chris Brown and Rihanna relationship, and it's my own personal opinion and belief that the reason why Chris Brown and Rihanna did not last in their union is because they were doing someone, and go into my previous messages, especially on Patreon, you'll know who that someone is, was doing voodoo, specifically, not voodoo, I'm sorry. Well, voodoo is love work, but someone was practicing Santeria on their relationship, and that's why, it ended. So, especially when people of that caliber are, in public image and popularity and all stuff like that, like you never know how envious somebody could be of a particular relationship. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying Rihanna is not happy in her relationship now with ASAP Rocky. She seems to be happy and comfortable and stuff like that. But I'm saying though, if Chris Brown and Rihanna was in a relationship from then to today, do you know how influential? Ooh, something about inflation. Do you know how influential their relationship would have been? Just think about it. If Chris Brown and Rihanna was still in a relationship today, there was never no domestic abuse. Do you know how influential? Chris Brown had a 40-song album that was selling out. Rihanna has not put out any in years, and people are still buying her products. Do you know how they would have been a power couple? But now Rihanna's with a man who just faced who was just court for shooting one of his friends from the hood, but he's a celebrity. No shade to him. Happy for her being happy, everything like that. But I'm just saying, how even if you look at this has nothing to do with what to talk about, but I guess it does. Do you even remember Rihanna was dating that man who had ties to the Toyota company that was funding Toyota cars for the ISIS gang overseas? And and this is right around the time she got announced to be like a billionaire. A pattern, like I feel like they kept trying to like spiritually, whomever. I felt like they kept trying to set up Rihanna's love life for real, because and don't mention. Do you remember how Rihanna came to the stream? Jay-Z got her a private jet, go sign a contract with him, and allegedly Beyonce was not comfortable with their them having a work relationship. So it happened until years later when Lemonade and that was then came out, Becky with the good hair. And then if you watch like those conspiracy videos when they talk about her stuff like that, there's certain songs and videos where she's talking about stuff that correlate to like the Diddy's, them tunnels, all that other weird stuff. I don't really pay attention to all that stuff like that, but I'm just saying. So what I'm trying to like you to see while I'm giving out this message is that when you're influencer, somebody very influential and a celebrity, and all these eyes is on you, it's not really the source of these celebrities, the fans and the people watching them on social media that is like just running to go do these spell work and stuff like that. It's people with their colleagues. It's their colleagues. Like no one of their colleagues, somebody that's like either envious, jealous, wants what they have. The only I'm not saying. I mean, there's certain marbles, but let's just keep it at African American right now, right? Supposedly, is Oprah and her husband? They are not an influential couple. Oprah is influential. You don't and her husband. walking about doing stuff and being influential. You see all being influential. You see what I'm saying? Like who else? The only influential African American couple that people look to is Beyonce and Jay-Z. You see what happened to Remy and Papoose? I'm telling you, like it's I don't know what the specific image is. So thanks for sending some love to the message. Appreciate you Wednesday. So one moment. I don't know what the overall like image it is for these specific prototypes of people that they don't want to see or they're competing with, but like the I'm trying to find the right words. Whatever as an example of an ASAP Rocky that they want instead is type wild if you really think about it. If you really sit and think about it, it's type wild. Like instead of having the Chris Brown and Rihanna relationship, they rather have a Rihanna and ASAP Rocky relationship be the next something about like I think it's like the dynamics of the relationship that's interesting because it's like why can't both of the people in the relationship be both influential and it's like it's always like it's gotta be one or the other. Like who did I mention? I mentioned couples, right? Jada Waiter and Lil Baby, they're both influential in two different ways, right? But no marriage. He's made that very clear. So that doesn't count. Um, Lil Durk in India. I'm not gonna say they're not ever gonna get married or anything like that, but we see what's going on. Who was the other one? Moneybag Ari. I ain't seen a some sort of video clip online of she was doing her cooking show and so one of her guests asked her I think it was a guy too. I forgot what the guy name was. He was like, "Yeah, you don't be thinking about your man randomly or something like that." Or I don't remember what he was saying. Asking like, "Oh, you don't be thinking about your man all day or something like that." And she was like, "No, why would I? Why would I think about?" I was just like, I'm like, PR training couldn't train you for that. It wasn't enough PR training for that one for that answer because because he was just the guy was narrating like basically like like when you be thinking about your person all day you all in love and this and third so you be thinking about them all day and Ari just like no why would I do that like she was like I think about some money but I'm just like oh my gosh going back to that reference right and it's no shade like if you're a gold digger be a gold digger and proud like honestly, because whoever you dating, like I don't want to hear that. I like me personally, I don't want to hear that. I didn't know they was like that. I didn't. I don't want to hear that. Oh, I wasn't aware. All they wanted was my money. I don't want to hear none of that. Cause y'all know what y'all was doing to get the type of woman that y'all wanted. This is what I be talking about with certain. It's not all. Maybe certain men that be acting like they don't know what's going on. You know they was tricking off on, and they gotta keep that up. I'm just saying. So, what was the reasoning, right? All right. So, when I was talking about let's find the reasoning, right? All the stuff I started saying, right? Something became apparent, like some sort of like all this I'm talking about is a lot of chaos. There's a lot of confusion. I don't know what's going on, right? But people who's in the situation, people are in situations and they're confused about what's going on in their own situation, in their own relationships, whatever. But they're living, I guess. What is a lie? What is manipulation? What is a spell? Aries. Aries in specific, in regards to spell work, is in regards to chaos magic. So, Aries, chaos, confusion, causing what? A third party. Now, third party in regards to like tarot, right? When people do readings and they say like third party energy is just someone outside of your circumstance that's coming into your situation. Now, this could be somebody being in your business. This could be cheating. This could be anything. Just an additional person in your situation. Now, third party energy could be what? Now there's three channel messages here. Something about because of sex, right? Now sex in regards to therapy, that could be in regards to that cheating analogy, right? The next one is, manipulative men. Let me not say, yeah, something about a manipulative man, because it's a channel message. It's not for everybody. Something about manipulative man using tactics to block a union. And the third channel message is aggressive women who fight for no reason. These are topics we've been talking about within the previous week. Now, something about an Aries, third party, and some sex happening. So some chaos. All right. And one of the previous SNR messages, I was talking about Future, right? And I was saying how Future basically his initiation to get into the music industry and remain in music industry is to keep having sex with women and children in order to stay in the industry that he's in. There is actually, if you read somebody's birth chart and they have a specific Sagittarius placement somewhere, that really is their destiny. And that's really based on genetics, and not just genetics, but, generational curses. Where people be like, they didn't have a father, so they wasn't being a father, or they wasn't the present father, and somebody like it's generational. I'm not saying he don't take care of his kids, but I'm saying is like, where so children didn't grow up with men household, but they receive funds. Some don't, and then they keep repeating the cycle. That's generational. All because confused about what kind of relationship they was in, all because of some sex. Sexing on someone, knowing you don't see a future with them, but you're still doing it, is confusion. Then y'all more confused because then children come into the situation. I don't like talking about children on this platform, but it's just an example. And then now baby mamas, baby daddies everywhere. Now this can also be a manipulative tool, and it's not just for men, because we were talking about a lot of the zodiac messages recently have been talking about pregnancy, use protection, use protection, because like it's something about baby traps and stuff like that. Even talking about Future's baby mom, his previous baby mom, Eliza, something like that, and how Miami Tip from Love and Hip Hop was talking about how she trapped him with a baby, thinking she was gonna get some money, and she thought she was gonna receive. I mean, well, how much did you think you're gonna get from a man that got the 10 kids? But then at the same time, is y'all know who y'all lay down with for real though. You knew, what kind of person that was. You knew. How you ain't know? Manipulative men using tactics to block a union. What's highlighted? Manipulative man tactics to block a union. So this third party energy. So this is, oh my gosh, I don't want to say it like this, but it's being channeled like this. There's something about two people being in a relationship. The woman having a male friend, colleague, whatever. You know how like I've been seeing these online too, where I saw this one in particular. Let me explain it. And there was a woman, and she was recording her guy best friend. And I don't know if it was a joke or they were being serious, but the woman was recording her guy best friend, and she was saying basically like something about her man or something like that to her guy best friend. And he just started getting belligerent. He was just like, "Why do you always treat him? He's a terrible person. Girl, leave him alone and just be with me." And then he kind of gets a side eye like, so it's something like, I don't know if there's a woman in the industry right now, a mother figure. This woman could already be a mother to someone specific in the entertainment industry, or there's a mother figure in the entertainment industry who has a guy bestie or something like that, or a guy colleague that she's like friends who is doing some sort of manipulative tactics to like stop her from being with a particular person. There's something, this woman could be an aggressive kind of woman. She could be an Aries, or she can like exude a lot of dominance. Because she's in she's so now if this is an aggressive woman and we're talking about in the entertainment industry, the first thing I think about is like a rapper, like a female rapper. Cutesy rap, I'm talking about that hardcore rap type because that's the only way I'm seeing it right now. Something about fight for no reason. Didn't I mention Remy Ma, Papoose, and who's that woman I was talking about in the previous message? Is it Clarissa? Fight for no reason, aggressive women. And one of my previous messages, I was talking about how the relation between aggressive women, men, the correlation between that. When you see a woman being aggressive in an environment, you know, ironically, it shows it's not because being aggressive, and not towards a man, not a woman being aggressive towards a man. Just like a women are aggressive with other women, whether like mildly or like really intensely or like that, it's telling that there's a lot of sexual energy coming from a man somewhere, or and it doesn't have to be toward the aggressive woman or the women who are getting into it or whatever like that. It's just showing like there's a lot of male to restaurant to restaurant singering. But I also spoke about in the other message that there's this misconception that like, women aggressive when women become aggressive, that doesn't turn on men really. Like it turns on a certain characteristic of a man. And there's also this thing where I use the baddies from Zeus Network thing, even on Nas TV. Cause I was even watching something like, and it was so interesting because what I'm noticing is that these women that like want to take on this masculine trait of being aggressive, want to fight for no reason. That when they do come in contact with these particular women and that they want dominance, they want to be alpha, and trying to fight these women for no reason, whether verbally or physically or whatever like that. What sometimes more often happens nowadays in this generation is that once they fight, have that physical altercation, the person who wins the fight, like that, next asserts their dominance. Now, next thing you know, they are not only friends, but there's some sort of attraction between the two women. That's where that misconception, y'all looking for I'm not saying you can't be of the LGBT community, but I'm seeing that this theme more and more often, and it is quite that a woman, just hear me out. You don't have to be on nobody to be attracted to somebody. I had to make that general because I don't want to just make it about the LGBT community. What about you fighting another woman, them beating you to a pulp is going to make you attracted to them while they was in that masculine energy? Because it was a man that would have put hands on you, all you're showing and telling me is that you would stay in that situation. God forbid. Anyway, so what I was talking about with these three messages in regards to how to break the lie, the spell, the voodoo in regards to a union. Because overall, the theme is relationships, couples, getting to a place where you are to be married, to be that influential couple and spouse to not only yourselves, but to the general public as influencers and celebrities. You and your spouse, whether you're only in a relationship or you're married, have to make a mutual decision to be in a relationship. What does that mean? Y'all have your own rules. Y'all know what works for y'all. That's why I said I'm not even judging Lil Baby Jada Waiter relationship, because at least he I don't know, well, to be honest, I don't know if he ever had that conversation with her about that he didn't want to get married and stuff like that. But he said he didn't want to get married, but he'll buy rings and stuff. That's a spiritual marriage. I'm sorry. I couldn't do it. I don't care. I don't care. I couldn't do it because in my mind, that all that me is Jada Wade is just gonna be in that relationship. I don't know if they still dating. I'm just saying that would just tell me Jada Wade just gonna stay in that relationship, get as much allowance as she wanted to, get as much pricey things that she can, probably pump when the relationship over and move the fuck on. Because like what? But on the other side, there are some people that don't want to get married. They probably because they don't got marriage in their birth chart. I ain't gonna hold you. I'm starting to learn that everybody not supposed to be married. Me at that reads birth charts. I've been reading birth charts and I'm learning. I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know everybody is not allowed to get married because one moment. I really did not know. As a birth chart reader, I did not know it was a thing that everybody did not is not to get married. The first thing I started thinking about is the Bible when they said like I think it's 144,000 people was going to heaven or something like that. And like even hearing that, I'm just like, dang, do you know how many people it is in the world? So like when I learned everybody's not supposed to get married just by reading the people's birth charts, I'm like, oh wow, there's more to it because it's either for sure that you're not, or you make that conscious decision that you don't want to get married. I agree to that. That's not my birth chart. So, but all I'm saying is like, you can make a conscious decision that you don't want to get married. You can make a conscious decision like, it ain't happen for you because we read your birth chart like that. You know your own destiny. Then there's people that either they don't know or they have a hard time accepting the truth, and then they get into these relationships that are toxic and they looking crazy, and you just looking at them like, why would you want that for yourself? It's because either one, there was a lie, a spell, some voodoo, so they can't get in contact with their counterpart. Because people will do that, like spell work is doing something to somebody's relation, is trying to do something to somebody's actual union. If this is if they came in contact already. If they didn't, or if even in contact yet, like if you're supposed to meet your divine counterpart, what the spell work will do to break up a prosperous marriage or relationship, whatever, right? They'll try to separate the people, right? And once they separate, they'll start saying toxic karmic partner. This is why you need to know your Saturn placements, you guys. You know your Saturn placements. You know the zodiac sign and embodiments of who you ain't really supposed to be with. And there's a tip in that. So, but I ain't gonna share it on this message for the SNR. Your Saturn placement gonna tell you who your karmics are. So, it's like because when you think you in love, loving you and stuff like that, and you start, and then your actual counterpart, this person manipulating you not to be with them, making it seem like you really supposed to be with the karmic, and then you going through toxic situations and stuff like that. By the time you realize you're one person, you didn't not baby trap. Now you trapped and got you in a situation you didn't even know you wasn't even supposed to be in. Like this is how people stay in relationships longer than they supposed to be in. Something about a sex and work life balance. So maybe this is all right. Here we go. This is why parties. All right, the celebrity I just mentioned, right? One of the biggest themes overall with them is travel. Like they have to travel a lot. If it's in regards to, let's say that somebody does music, let's say they go on tour, you have to know the type of partner you have. Either you're gonna have the available funds, time, or resources to be able to go on tour with your spouse, or you have to, comfortable in yourself in your own schedule that you are going to be available for that person when they have the time to see you, have that quality time with you, so on and so. Because if you're not comfortable with that situation, you don't vocalize that, y'all don't have these type of conversations, then you know what happens, that third party interference, that male friend, that female, but we talk about male friend in this one. So then that male friend gonna come right over to that man and be like, yeah, ain't right, he can't see. Meanwhile, the man making a living for himself. It ain't right. He don't always see you. How you yourself? How like that's not how you take care of a woman. Next thing you know, you sleeping with your friend for no reason. Now you're from Maine. Meanwhile, not all situations are like that. But meanwhile, you possibly supposed to be building life, getting married to the actual person who was so supposedly busy. And by the figure it out, the person then probably moved on to the next person, found a different counterpart. So I'm saying, but that's not everybody's scenario. But just knowing conversation is key. Dialogue is key. You know, having similar in regards to what y'all both want in a relationship is going to save you a lot of trouble so that you don't have to go through it. In a negative connotation. So, back to that dream, right? Black Panther is a melanated jaguar, leopard, or planter or whatever like that. The first thing I thought about when I seen Black Panther, I was thinking about the Civil Rights Party. The Civil Rights Party, in regards to the party that was happening in regards to what women welfare, right? Excuse me. I had a dream I spoke about a few times about this year while I saw mother in the dream. And Tupac's mother, it was a Aquarius young lady next to her, and she had went into a bookshelf, grabbed a photo album, and threw it at the Bad Girls Club, Jayla, at her feet. Her feet representing Sagittarius, but it's a movement, so it's talking about a Gemini woman. Even if it was Jayla I seen the dream, it's representing some sort of communication, Gemini, the internet. So something about that interview that Jayla did after she left Bad Girls Club, Baddies, whatever, Baddies Miss West, whatever it was called. Did I watch the interview? No. I did see some clips though online social media when they was promoting it, the interview and stuff like that. And I also mentioned that Jayla's first name, because Jayla is abbreviated, I think it's Jayla Mina or something like that. I'm pretty sure. Don't I don't want to be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure her first name is of Muslim roots, heritage, or something like that. So, and that's where I always, if you get a chance, go on Barnes and Noble, read my book, Polygamy Needs Consent, Mentally the Origin of Own Religion. Just gotta put that out there. So, in the dream, Tupac's mother was like telling her, open up the photo album, that's your kid. And Jayla was being stubborn and she was upset. And she was like, that's not my kid. I don't have kids. And then Tupac's mother took out, prayer rugs, stuff like that. Maybe why it's significant is because, sometimes God will show me dreams months, years in advance. And I was just looking at the upcoming holidays, and I believe Eid is about to start and stuff like that. So something is coming to fruition now within this month in regards to this month got a lot going on. Like I was looking at something, and it's no like this month is about LGBT Pride Month. What else is going on? This month is the Donald Trump birthday. What else? you got another Muslim holiday this month. Like you got Juneteenth. It's a lot going on this month. No funny. I had seen this so like basically even me being an entertainer, I had did this music video at a specific location. And randomly, I seen somebody doing like a little skit or whatever like that, a really funny skit, whatever. It was funny, but it was, but I mean, it is Pride Month, so it was like, oh my, so like, distasteful stuff maybe, but I really think it was no harm in it. So the guy was walking about, so it was like this guy from urban community. He was talking like real hood. He was talking some real hood, like like another guy, but like he was cross the street. And in the street, in the middle of the street, there was like this big rainbow, like Wizard of Oz style. And when he stepped on the rainbow while he wasn't paying attention, he started speaking as if he was of the LGBT community. That's where the joke was. And once he realized he was talking like that and it was out of character for him, he looked on the ground and he seen the rainbow and he was like, "What the heck?" And he started talking normal again. I'm y'all know me. I always give my own personal opinion. I was talking about how well, my own personal bias. Well, I'm gonna tell y'all my own personal bias about the LGBT community. Don't got no problem with y'all, but y'all know I'm always saying my opinion. I always ask since adolescence the same question. I'm gonna keep asking it now. Even with a sex change, like sex change, if you get a sex change and you do the whole complete sex change where you're a man, you transition from a man to a woman, like the whole like change your voice thing. You know what? I might be more understanding that. Why without a transition, men of the LGBT community, why y'all be switching your voice? If you're a man and you like a man, what's the point of switching your voice? That's just the same thing I think about like if a stud or a dyke, I don't know, like I'm not trying to be like homophobic. I'm just saying. This is just I know it's kind of stereotypical, but I don't know what else to call it. I don't know what else you stud or a dyke, whatever. So why do studs and dykes use strap-ons if they just like women? And why do studs want to be a man and use a strap-on, pretend to be a man, but still why don't they transition? Wait, can you do that? Yeah, they can do that. They can do that because if you can, because men when they transition, they just tuck it in. So do they gotta put a vagina? I don't know. Confusion, like you like, and then like the pronouns and everything like that. I understand. You gonna call what you. This is just like when people be like, pronounce your name right. You just want to be called whatever you want to be called correctly, and that's fine. I understand that. But you gotta understand that people, like heterosexual people, we be confused. Not confused about our sexuality, ourselves. Confused in regards to LGBT, because there's always something new going on with y'all. This not like, I'm not trying to be funny. The LGBT people, y'all are not a trend. Y'all are a lifestyle. So we trying to understand where y'all coming from and accommodate towards y'all feelings. But sometimes the LGBT community be just as sensitive as the topic of talking about slavery. Honestly, everybody just trying to. But if y'all confusing everybody else more, how you think everybody going? Because people love gay people. People been loving gay people. The only people that don't like gay people are usually closeted homosexuals or people who hate themselves. Honestly, I'm not even going to like. There's no reason to hate LGBT people unless you got like some backstory asses like what somebody did to you with the LGBT community that just like traumatized you or something like that. You people do not hate gay people. People have been closeted gays for many generations, decades, and years. This the only time where in history where it's alright for you to be with the LGBT community and you have laws to protect y'all rights. It's no reason for nobody be beefing, like, for real. But anyways, I was talking about Tupac's mother. She had pulled out in the dream. She had pulled out the prayer mat. So something about it. I was talking about. She get outside of her home. There was a big black gate. Um, Around the home on a corner. It kind of looked like one of the architectural builds of the nicer homes over in Chicago. And she had put the mat outside of the side of the house near a window. So it's something. So when I think Chicago, the only person I think I mentioned from Chicago is Lil Durk. So maybe something about Durk in India. The other, all right, hear me out, hear me out. All right, boom, boom, boom. Kevin Gates and what's that young lady, that Brittany Renner? They dating now, right? A whole religion to be with that man. I hopefully it works out for her. Hopefully it works out for her. I have personally seen somebody change from Christianity to Muslim to be with a man just to not end up being with the man, not married but having children. So I just hope when people do stuff like that, they're being very sincere. It's not just for love. Change your whole religion. I hope that was of her own free will, not because she decided to date a man and that was a requirement. Because if you don't know who you are before getting into a relationship, and you have a man or a woman tell you who you are when you get into a relationship instead of you figuring it out for yourself, you going if that person ever, it'd be a lot going on. Basically, the whole point of me seeing Jail from Backwards Club and Tupac Shakur mother, Tupac Shakur mother was a civil rights activist for, minorities, especially African American women, and especially in regards to raising up the next generation. I believe it was at that time her generation where that Coke reference comes. The third party, in regards to lies, spells, some voodoo to break up third and being manipulated using tactics to block a union. So there could be a female entertainer or somebody in the industry, female specifically. It could be a mother figure. This person got a child or children, got a friend or male colleague that is like jealous, envious of her relationship with the person because they see this person sees, or I don't know why I say they, maybe it's more than one person. Someone sees like how influential a particular couple can be. I don't know if the woman already had like their own vice for cocaine, but I don't know if this male friend, is like a dealer of some sort or has connections to dealers or is accessible to cocaine. But let's say for example, this woman, right, is dating a prominent influential celebrity, whatever like that, or they're an influential celebrity themselves. The person that they dating, this man, has to travel or stay or town for business, right? This male friend colleague will come along, be like, "Oh, I got something for you," and even saying that just sounds like so many scenarios that sound wrong. Something about this generation of women, is different. I have another message. I'm going to talk about that soon, probably in the upcoming Heritage Society class messages. So, like I said, something about Grove Street in regards to Lil Wayne. I've heard Holly Grove Street in regards to Waka Flocka as well. I You can go on my YouTube shorts. There's a Lil Wayne commercial. He did the song "A Millie," and I don't know why it's significant, but the song "A Millie," like "A Millie," um, what's it called? It. I haven't heard the song so long. I just know he just said tougher than Nigerian hair. When I heard that, I was younger. My own bias. I was just like, why would he say that? Yo, somebody just put the emoji. Oh my god. Somebody just put the emoji like, oh my god, you just said that. Oh my gosh, this meme I seen online. And this guy, he was giving a speech and he was like, I used to look at myself the way people had the perception of me of like, no, people had the false perception of this guy, and he really felt the way people used to like see him as. He said, I felt worth this. I this. He said, I felt gay, and everybody when they heard gay, they're like, oh yeah, no. He's like, I like gay people. Somebody offended somebody. All right, while we on that topic, y'all watch Love and Hip Hop, right? Atlanta to be specific. You remember when Zelf Swag was dating Saucy Santana, and while they was on again and having that toxic relationship, some way somehow Zell became bisexual and not gay, and then he had got that woman pregnant, but then the baby miscarried. How y'all even get in a situation like that, yo? To be honest, I ain't gonna hold you. I remember when that information that came out on that TV show that Zell had got some woman pregnant. Yo, I was so happy. I'm not even trying to even be funny. I was so happy because I'm like, oh my gosh, he probably about. First of all, if you've seen Zell Swag and Saucy Santana relationship on that show, it was very toxic. They was fighting all the time. They was throwing stuff at each other, and like those are two grown men. Like I don't never want to see two grown men just fighting. Like yo, that's dangerous. So and. Not giving them domestic abuse. It don't matter what your sexuality is, but like yeah. So I was happy for Zell when he got that woman pregnant. Like I'm like, dang, he probably about to turn around. He about to have this family. He gonna have a baby the natural way and stuff like that. But the whole time I low key was side eyeing, not the way Saucy Santana was, but I was side eyeing that woman because it's just like, you know, hey, why would you do that? Like, what was the purpose of that? But I don't know. In the words of J. Cole, probably make a gay nigga reconsider. It be listen, listen. It whatever. Hey, you like that, you like that. You know that's your business. I don't know, but isn't it ironic that the baby miscarried? Now the woman has said it would be due to stress because Saucy Santana her and having people follow her and yeah basically harass her and stuff like that, which is interesting because it's just like that's a whole woman. Like you're not gonna do that even if you know that man is gay. But once he had had impregnated her, you should just left them alone. Stop trying to like target them. But she said she had lost her baby due to stress. What if because that man is gay, God didn't allow that baby to be born? I think God was really gonna allow Zell to have a kid, but he ain't stand on. He wanted a heterosexual relationship. I and it's all about. I don't know if Saucy Santana had a role to play with it, but apparently he did. But this is just speculation. Because how you even get? I'm trying to figure out how you gonna how you on. I know it's just reality TV, but how you on? Excuse me. How you on TV for years, almost a decade, around, let everybody know you gay. Then in 2024, 2025, you just miraculously get a woman pregnant is crazy. And it was so interesting. And I wonder if he still even talked to her. And then how you knew this man was gay for more than a decade, whether you knew him or not prior to, and then how does that work? Why are you attracted to him? Why you know him as a TV personality being gay? You still attracted to him. You still slept. Why know this man has been on a TV personality for more than 10 plus years? He's gay, and you let him ejaculate himself into you, knowing that he's gay, and it's all. I'm just saying, like health wise, like I was side eyed that girl too. Like you knew. But then Zell Swag came on to talk about he bisexual and stuff like that. I'm really trying to hear all that. I have my own bias on that bisexual stuff. I know it's a double standard, like, oh, women can be bisexual, man, because women reproduce. Men reproduce, with their, semen, with their sperm. But women literally reproduce, bring right? Like men help and like do that. They have the ability to help, but they don't carry this. So it's like men like oh my gosh. People are like, all right, let me not use that example. But it's just like it is a double standard. Women deal with women or whatever like that. But then, like I was saying, then you got the stikes and whatever they like to use the strap on. You got these LGBT women that be using strap on, pretending like they men because apparently scissoring just not enough. Like licking the cooter is not enough apparently. And then you got but the men they don't necessarily need sex toys if they are homosexual. They just do to do. No pun intended. Did y'all be wondering why people confused? Anyway, let's talk about Wakanda real quick. And I'm end the message there for now. We're gonna come back to this topic in the upcoming American Heritage Society class message. So when I seen the Black Panther, I was like, first thing, I mean, besides seeing Tupac's mother in the dream state, obviously I thought about the movie Wakanda. Now there are two. I mean, there's a few like big celebrities in that movie, but the two main characters, that were ironically, we think about were oppositions to each other in the movie, right? Were played by none other than Chadwick Boseman, and then his co-star Michael B. Jordan. Chadwick Boseman was the lead in that movie. Boseman did not know he was sick until he filmed that movie. And then when the movie was actually, shown in theaters, Chadwick Boseman was perceived dead. How ironic. How ironic that Michael B. Jordan, the B for his name, is Bakari. Bakari is a name of Yoruba descent from the Yoruba tribe in Africa, meaning noble promise. It is also known that from that Europe, Africa, Bakari, Michael B. Jordan's middle name, is in correlation to Ifa worship and Ifa worship influencing Santeria. It was, I wouldn't say it was destined for Michael B. Jordan to come in contact with this man, Chadwick Boseman. But if you continue to do research on that name, Bakari, it gets very, very interesting. And I tell you guys, they're very spiritual. They have a meaning. Like, every person's name has a meaning. You just gonna have to hope that, your parents loved you enough to name you something good. Honestly, because I think that's why it's even though she's not in the chat right now, but because she said she had to go to Olean or something. Aurora in the comment section, the previous time she was in the comment section, I told her I was gonna read her name. Before I told her I was gonna read her name, initiation of it, she was being, well, I perceived somewhat rude, but y'all know I don't care about none of that. So before I got a chance to let her know the definition of her name, because she claimed she didn't know what her name meant. The only other time I've heard of the name Aurora, ironically, was CW network, and they had like a vampire TV show on there. So the first thing I thought when she was being rude is like, all right, she's like as if she's an energy vampire. That phrase, they people like just trying to drain people energy because they don't got none, right? So let me go check the name of. Let me check what Aurora means. And I believe, I'm not mistaken, it has something to do with love, i.e. voodoo in regards to Venus in regards to Taurus, Libra, Gemini, zodiac signs and embodiments. So, obviously, like that ties into relationships, love work. Well, I was talking about previously in the beginning the message, but it's ironic that Michael B. Jordan came in contact with Chadwick Boseman. So I decided to do a little brief research on Chadwick Boseman and who he is as a person, what happened with him. I didn't nothing too in depth. All right. First and foremost, let's start with Chadwick Boseman's mother and father. This is just ironic. This really don't got nothing to do with anything. But I found a person name, like, same last name, Boseman. I ain't look up a Boseman, man. I don't know if that's significant, but Chadwick Boseman's mother's name is Karen. Chadwick Boseman's father's name is Leroy. Let's start there. I have had two Leroys in my life and only one Caroline. What is ironic, because like I said, previous message with the person in the comment section, Aurora, looked up her name, and I said the reference of where I've heard that name from. That Carolyn name is on that same TV show. And she went. So I don't know what his relationship was to his mother, but that's the thing I thought. I've met a woman like that before. Something about an aunt is very significant. Now, the father figure, I said I've met someone of that name before. Two people. It was the senior and the junior. It was like a disconnect because the junior Leroy would did not live in the same country as the father figure, and there's something about like a disconnect. Maybe Chadwick moved from that, something about roots, like family roots, stuff like that. Like, so I guess he outgrew his family in some sort of way. I think like there's an interesting dynamic between his mother, his father, and him. I don't know if they're still or not. I don't know. And the senior, there's this interesting story, right? I'm not going to get towards into it. God is good, obviously, but sometimes when certain things happen, it just kind of make you kind of wonder. I remember going to church one day, and this was around the time where, like, I spoke about, when it comes to church, it's like there's different scenarios in regards to church. There's the congregation that goes to church to hear the word. There's the pastor that preaches the word, um, to make the congregation feel good. Then there's the behind the scenes because people don't realize that church is a big business. So I've seen both aspects in my life. So in different variations. So it's just like if you see the if you see the church from a business aspect, that like you wouldn't see church the same. I'm not even gonna hold you, and that's not a bad or a good thing. I'm just saying. But it was this particular time when I was going to church that this particular man with the same name, he started how do I say it? He started getting a little greedy. I'll say it like that. I'm not trying to be funny or nothing like that, but he was trying to be a little greedy in regards to finances, in regards to like church and stuff like that, and in regards to the behind the scenes, there was certain conversations that was had, and a little bit of aggression to restaurants being thrown around and stuff like that. But I was kind of younger, so like I didn't really pay it until one day after I believe it was like they had like a meeting something like that where the tensions was rising, things was like I'm not gonna get too deep into the story, but all I'm saying is one day testimony time I wasn't even paying attention until they gave that testimony. I realized that man, his whole neck was wrapped up, and I'm just like, yo, what's wrong with him? But like, at the same time, my spirit was like, I did not care that day. I don't know what was going on. Like, I don't know. Like sometimes I don't know. Sometimes I just be peeping stuff and I just don't be seeing it. Like, because that man's neck was wrapped up and he looked like he was hurting and stuff like that. And they give him this testimony. I'm just like, how didn't they just have a meeting and they were tense? Now I'm saying he hurt. What's going on? So I was like, let me listen to this conversation. So I guess he couldn't speak. Somebody had to speak for him, and they was just saying like, yeah, basically, like the family was damn near in tears talking about. I don't know if I tell you, it would be so ironic. So they just damn near in tears talking about they almost lost their father. The freak accident. I've never heard nothing like that before. He was mowing the lawn. Then one of the blades from the lawnmower, some way somehow I don't know if it got jammed. What happened? It flew out of there. Come slit his whole neck. Like what is that? What is Final Destination? Isn't there a Final Destination out right now? Freak accident. Just the I can't even get it out. Like that sounds wild. Almost slit his throat. Mind you, they was having like these like tension in regards to like business in regards to the church where he was vocalizing, basically his greediness in regards to the finances and how he thought it should be done or whatever. I'm not gonna get into the specifics, but like it was so ironic that blade slit his throat. Like might didn't want him to say nothing or whatever he was saying was wrong. And I just kind of always looked at that moment like, dang, that was so unordinary. To this day, I don't know if he was in the wrong or the right, but like for something like that vicious that it's not funny, but that something like that vicious to happen, that is not ordinary. Kind of side-eyed him that day, low-key. I know it sounds messed up, but I really did because it's just like something not right. But that's what I'm gonna say about that. There could be something, some sort of moral in that, whatever. But about somebody speaking up or saying something, or, but it's all about the intention. Because I don't believe if you being sincere, if you're being this is my own perception based on that story, right? If you're being sincere, genuine, especially in the church environment, and you're saying something out the kindness of your own heart because you it's not only going to help you, it's going to help other people. It is no way God is going to allow a freak accident like that to happen to you. That is why. That is wild. But and if you even think about it, if you break it down even spiritually, like what does a lawnmower do or cuts grass? Grass is what plants. What does plant grass have to do with anything? Um Earth signs, finances, money, industry, you know what I'm saying? Should oh my gosh, even root work. There you go. Root work. So and he was doing that, then a blade. Now if you're thinking about let's say we're talking about African spirituality, right? Because we're talking about the equal worship, we're talking about Michael B. Jordan, his what his name mean, come from New York and everything, right? Influence and century and everything like that. And then we also just mentioned root work, right? If you doing something right, good, right? Just forget all that. A metal slitting your whole neck while you're doing a common day activity. If you're still talking about spiritual divination and stuff like that, deities, whatever you want to call it, isn't there like what's his name, Ogon? Remember? What? Like that is that I'm just saying that is wild. That like that was a wild one. Like I remember I just like what? Nah. God forbid in my life. Now, back to Chadwick Boseman, right? Chadwick Boseman was born November 29th, 1976. Now, so that would make him what? The 29th, that's like a cusp. So instead of being a Scorpio, he's a Sagittarius. So Chadwick Boseman is perceived to be a Sagittarius. All right. When did Chadwick Boseman die? August 28th, 2020. What was going on during 2020? The pandemic. 28, some valuing partnerships, something about his seventh house. Partnerships, right? Romantic or platonic. Played a role as to how he died. Money was involved. Leo, the general zodiac in a the message. Entertainment, entertainer. He traveled. He traveled to go do. Mind you, he came in contact with Michael B. Jordan as Chance. Like, but at the same time, in the previous message I was talking about, they back to sender up. You see, you see, you see. I ain't even sit. I ain't even sit. Like somebody for several weeks I'm saying this stuff, and honestly, that don't concern you. Take it with God. So Chadwick Boseman. Interesting. See, all right. I was about to say something, but I guess if I remember, if I don't, I don't. But yeah. I also. All right. Let me keep reading the way I wrote it. Chadwick Boseman was born in Anderson, South Carolina. He was born in the South. This is all now. This is making sense about his mother and father. Now, mind you, I don't know who Miss Leroy and Carolyn Bozeman is. I just know that they conceived this child in Anderson, South Carolina, that is in the South. Now, the South, if you're thinking about the slavery, right? You know, slavery. And then is is there a oil or something like that? An oil brand in Carolina? I don't know why it's significant. Mm. Anderson, South Carolina, abbreviated SC. Um, I'm hearing Anderson Cooper. But yeah, so you like I'm not trying to be funny. You know, when people live in the South, you know, the South, depending where you are, South Carolina, I don't know about now, but like it's not one of the like capitals of the industry world. You know what I'm saying? Not maybe in agriculture, but I can only imagine this man living in the South Carolina told his southern parents like, "Yo, star." I don't know what the background to him and his parents were. I don't know what his family life was really like. I didn't look into all that, but I'm just saying. Where did Chadwick Boseman die? In LA, California. Something about the number five is very significant. I don't know what's going on with that. Significant changes from the spiritual manifesting into the physical. Something about synchronicities, spiritual downloads, dreams. So Chadwick Boseman moved from Anderson, South Carolina. He could have been moved to pursue his career, obviously, but it's the fact that he went from the South to the West Coast to do this movie. He was born in the South but died in the West Coast. And we know LA, California is really heavy with that witchcraft in South Africa. Known fact. What did Chadwick Boseman this man die of? Colon cancer. Now, remember I said there's a TV show, TV the CW, in regards to vampire spirits. And the mother figure, his own mother figure, got the same name as one of the vampires on the TV show. Cancer has to do with women, mothers in specific, and also the emotions of a mother. So I don't like spirit, and he died at 43 years old. That's really young. Some three, four, protection, three, communication, online, Gemini, um, the internet. So spiritually, just spiritually speaking, it can perceive that his mother, if she was still alive, even if not, even if she's deceased, I don't think she was happy with his career or his success. And that played a role into his suddenness. And if it wasn't her, because we're not just gonna put full blame on her, it was some woman figure in his life. And I don't know if he was dating or married at the time, whatever. But to send it all evil and take gossipness with you. Now, because I ain't no Chadwick Boseman. I'm just speaking about it because God told me to speak about it. Who knows? Chadwick Boseman might want me to speak about it. Who knows? But you know, I ain't trying to attach no cancer spirit though. Chadwick Boseman also, I just put a fun fact. He from the Howard University in the year of 2000. So Chadwick Boseman Alright. Chadwick Boseman was born in South Carolina in the South. Then went to Howard University, graduated in the year 2000. 20 years later, died. Just 2 decades later. Something reference about the Southwest very significant. 2000 is graduated from Howard University in 2000. I put Howard graduate, and when that's abbreviated, it says hug. I had a dream where I saw a man, a Sagittarius man, traveling to a person. I think this is Chadwick Boseman. So this is a officially a celebrity medium message. I saw this man come and try to come to authority figure and hug the woman or whatever like that, and he was crying and he was saying my friends are not my friends. He said specifically, my friend is not my friend. All right, and Chadwick Boseman was Chadwick Boseman died on August 28th, 2020, but he wasn't buried until September 3rd, 2020. That's where that five come from. There was 5 days in between his death and the burial. Made you wonder if he wrote a will and where those proceeds went. Would possibly be a paper trail spiritually into the circle of who possibly, you know, was possibly doing some sort of love work or root work or Santeria for that matter, witchcraft, to make him sick in the first place. So I think he's trying to say that in regards to all those celebrities I said previously before, I think the reason why it's all correlated is because, all right, for example, right, because Sagittarius is coming up heavy because of the Chadwick Boseman thing, little baby, right? I think that's why he don't want to get married because he's aware of how malicious people can be, especially women, these quote unquote gold diggers that just want him for his money. So he rather live a particular lifestyle rather than want to fall in love for real and get married because he's afraid that somebody's going to possibly do something to him. There's a song channeling. I'm not going to channel it today. I'll do it another day. Drake, Nicki Minaj, proud of you. Uh, Psalm 91. God bless to the rest. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. See ya another time.